2012, we will have to face the consequences of child pornography. Last night I was watching The National, which is a Canadian news broadcast, and they did a story about the widespread use of child pornography in Canada. Obviously, it's everywhere, but it was shocking to see. They've been able to track the various locations and approximately how many computers are accessing child pornography sites, sharing photos, and it was pretty horrible. And one of the points of their investigative story was to show us that, it's not someone over there in some third world nation that's doing this. It's your neighbors. And from where I live, there's, hundreds, if not thousands, of people accessing these internet sites, taking photos, sharing photos. And of course, to do this, they need children. And a really horrible thing that they uncovered was the age of the children that they're using. The most common age, and it's mostly men, sorry men, but it is the fact. They thought the number of women involved in this is probably less than 1%. I mean, they're people, whatever. So these people, the average age of the children they are using is 4 and 5 years old, which is disgusting. And it's very easy to see that these little children are easier victims, than even 7 or 8. I do daycare, and I look after a 6 and 7-year-old girl right now. And even the difference between 6 and 7, a 7-year-old would be able to fight quite well. I'm not saying she wouldn't be manipulated easily. She would. She's only 7. However, when I look at a 5-year-old child, 4 or 5, big difference. So they're using these children because they're easier to manipulate, to control, to keep under wraps, to brainwash. It's sick and cruel. It's your neighbors. I'm going to suggest this kind of disgusting fantasy and practice is within all of us. It's kind of programmed into us. I'm not saying I participate. I don't participate in my mind in that kind of thing because I think that it's wrong and I don't want to add to that. So let's stop looking outward, blaming, and thinking someone else's problem. It's someone really different from me, really creepy looking, who lives thousands of miles away, who's kidnapping these children, or who has. Oh yeah, that was the other point. And very sad. And largely, it's men who have custody of these little children for various reasons. They have custody of these kids, and they're allowed to keep them. And no one knows that what's going on in their home or apartment. They're using them to take photos and do God knows what else. So that largely men, but people, whatever, can jerk off by looking at these photos and these videos. So they can jerk off. Selfish. It's just selfish. And then it feeds into it even more. They also said that a lot of these men can't help themselves. That's fine. So it's not a blame game. It's not about that. It's about, my point is, we all need to look at this right in the face. Let's just look right at what it is. It's like kidnapping little children or having custody of these children and using them in the most vile, selfish way based completely in self-interest for a little orgasm. And it releases that energy, and then they don't feel it for a while, and they feel guilty and horrible, or they don't. And then it builds up again inside them, exciting, exciting, exciting. Oh, I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't do it. And then it builds up in them, and they have to have this release again. So we need to look at this. It's happening in your neighborhood. And we need to help the legal authorities. They're doing their best. We need to talk about it more. Say what it is. It's just a sexual sickness that needs to end, that needs to stop. The other very discouraging point was that it's not that easy to uncover or point out exactly where the user is. So these people largely know they're going to be able to get away with this. So whoever's doing this, you need to face yourself. Face yourself. You're evil. Your evil is just a little different than my evil. I've had a lot of crap inside of myself I've had to look at and face. So let's stand up and look at it and face it. And stop the action. It needs to stop. Because it is in all of us, whether you engage or not. Or you can say, oh, it's not in me. Whatever. Somewhere inside you, you know that thoughts cross your mind, whether you choose to follow them or not. These thoughts are in all of us. And we need to face ourselves and look at it in self-honesty so that we can make the changes in this world that is necessary. It starts with each person. As we can see from a problem like this, it really starts with each individual making a decision. I don't like this anymore. I don't want to continue with this anymore. A lot of my evil was being self-absorbed in my own mind, using alcohol. So I did lots of horrible things as well. I've been able to face myself through a program online and a practical course that I'm taking at Desteni.org. We all need to stop and take responsibility as a group, and the group is human beings. The group isn't a little group of pornographers in Ontario or a town in Ontario, and then a little group over here, a little group over, it's all of us, it's all of humankind. Specifically, there's other things at Desteni that can help you with looking at some of this stuff. There is an agreement course, which is new, which will help you look at your relationships with others. What's going on with relationships with others? Are you isolated? Are you not able to have a relationship with another person? With these people, probably not. The answer is probably not. They're not able to. Not a honest one. So at Desteni, there is a course called the Agreement Course that will assist you in looking at your relationships. As well, we are proponents of an equal money system. So if you check the links, I've got links to all these different things in the information part of this blog below.